Beginning with the end in mind, look at this really cool sunflower project we're going to work on. Let's learn a little bit more about the artist, Vincent van Gogh. This is a picture of what Vincent van Gogh painted himself like. Now, he tried a lot of other things before he was a painter. He tried being an art dealer, a teacher, a bookseller, and even a preacher like his father. But none of those occupations or jobs made him very happy. But as you can see, he started out being a very interesting artist by some of his drawings that he made early on. His drawings are really dark, and you can see some similarities between some of his first paintings. They're dark also. But after these paintings were done, he met some Japanese artists, and it's kind of cool because he learned from them about using some different colors, and soon after, his paintings became a lot brighter. And we know a little bit about Vincent van Gogh's life because he was always writing letters to his brother Theo. He got to know his postman pretty well and even painted pictures of him. Theo introduced him to a lot of artists. For a while, Vincent van Gogh lived with a famous artist, but they did not get along very well. So when they lived together, this is one of the pictures that Vincent van Gogh painted of his bedroom. Looks like he cleaned it up for us. In this picture is another self-portrait painting done by Vincent van Gogh. Maybe you recognize this painting. It's called Starry Night. It's one of the world's most famous paintings. Here are more of his paintings soon after Starry Night. I love the way that his paintings all have texture in common. As you look at the sky as well as the ground, you can see the thick brush strokes that he put into his painting. When we turn the page and take a look at some of these sunflowers, again you can see that that paint is put on so thick. And when his paint was put on so thick, he was always running out of paint. So when he ran out of paint, he needed to buy a lot more. Hardly anyone knew that he was going to be a famous artist when he was alive. He only sold one painting, which is kind of sad. But artists back in that day weren't necessarily used to those bright, beautiful paintings that people find extremely interesting today. So it gives you a chance to take a look at vibrant or bright colors, as well as thick brush strokes of texture that he used in his paintings. I hope you liked learning a little bit about Van Gogh. Now we'll go ahead and get started working on this project today, drawing our own sunflowers onto a piece of paper. Remember that painting that we looked at in the book? Well, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at this sunflower picture and start drawing our own. It's okay to have some of your circles go off the edge of the paper, but in step number 1, I ask that you draw at least 3 circles onto your paper. I've sped this picture up a little bit so that I can get it all done and you can get started too. But I'm using the idea sheet of different sunflowers and starting to add some of my own designs or my own patterns that I could put into my sunflowers. So after I've drawn the 3 circles, I'm decorating the center, and now I'm adding on petals for the sunflowers. The other thing you might notice is when I start drawing and designing my paper, I a lot of times turn the paper around because it makes it a little bit easier to draw rather than trying to draw some of my petals upside down. Also notice the petals are going to be drawn pretty large. Sometimes it might even overlap another petal. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at those sunflowers again. The center of it is brown. So I've taken a brown crayon and I've started to color it in. You can see that I'm coloring it in lightly because I want to be able to see my pencil lines through it. Again, this is fast forward so that you can see this whole thing done in a quick amount of time to get started. Once I'm done with my brown, I took a black crayon and I'm trying to make the pencil lines show up now. With my black crayon, don't leave it like this. You want that black crayon to be nice and thick. I'm pressing so hard, I'm almost concerned that my crayon is going to break in half. If you find that these black lines are not dark enough for you, then the other thing I could suggest is for you to use a black oil pastel. You might not have to press down quite as hard, but the black crayon might not smear where the black oil pastel might smear. You get to decide which material works best for you, but the important part of this step is to use it nice and thick. Really, really thick, so that when we do get onto our painting step, the black wax, the black oil, whichever you use, crayon or oil pastel, will hold in the paint and not let it go everywhere on your paper. It's going to create somewhat of a resist. So when I do the black step, please don't hurry. Take your time making that black nice and thick or nice and dark with your black crayon. Oil pastel you might not have to press down as hard, but the black crayon like I'm using right now, I am pressing down pretty hard because I want my crayon to hold in the paint in our next class session. Okay, when you're done with your crayons, it'll look something like this. And again, lastly, next video, we'll talk a little bit about how to put your paint onto your project too. Have fun!